In the bustling city of Lagos, there lived a wealthy man named Adewale. He was the only son of his parents, and they were pressuring him to get married. But Adewale wanted a wife who loved him for who he was, not for his wealth. So, he came up with a plan. He decided to disguise himself as a poor man and move to a nearby village to find a true and responsible wife. Adewale's parents were shocked when he told them about his plan. They couldn't imagine their son, the heir to their vast fortune, living as a poor man in a small village. But Adewale convinced them that because he was well known in Lagos, any woman there would pretend to be someone she wasn't just to win his heart. His parents reluctantly agreed, giving him 2 years to return with a bride. If he failed, they would choose a wife for him. Adewale let his hair grow wild and his beard bushy. He bought some old, worn-out clothes and started his journey to a village called Ijibu. At the bus stop, the driver asked where he was going. Adewale said, "I'm looking for a village with kind people where I can start over." The driver, feeling sorry for him, offered to take him to his own village, where the people were nice and welcoming. When they arrived in Ijibu, the driver introduced Adewale to his wife and children. They welcomed him warmly and gave him a small, simple room to stay in. The next day, Adewale began his mission to find a responsible lady. He got a job at the market square, pushing a wheelbarrow to carry goods for customers. Most people were rude to him, treating him poorly because of his appearance and job. After a year and a half, Adewale was losing hope of finding a good wife. He told the driver that he might just accept whoever his parents chose for him. But the driver encouraged him to try a different market in another part of the village, saying he might meet different people there. 1 week after he started going to the new market, Adewale met 2 sisters, Amina and Funk. They had bought a lot of items, and Adewale offered to help carry their purchases. Amina was rude and dismissive, but Funk was kind and gentle. She thanked Adewale and apologized for her sister's behavior. Adewale learned that Funk was an orphan. Her mother had died long ago, and her father remarried. Her stepmother, Bimp, treated her poorly, making her do all the housework while Amina, her stepsister, did nothing. Despite her hardships, Funk remained humble and kind. Adewale fell in love with Funk's kind heart and gentle nature. He asked the driver's wife about her, and she confirmed that Funk was well liked in the village, but her stepmother always ruined her chances of marriage by insisting the suitors marry Amina instead. Determined to marry Funk, Adewale continued to help her whenever she came to the market. Over 3 months, they grew closer, and he finally told her he wanted to marry her. Funk was shocked but happy. She warned him that her stepmother would make things difficult, but Adewale assured her he would handle it. One day, while Adewale was helping Funk carry goods home, Amina saw them and laughed, mocking them as a perfect couple, a poor girl and a beggar. She ran home to tell Bimp, who was furious. When Adewale and Funk arrived, Bimp slapped Funk and made her kneel in the sun. Adewale, angry and sad, told Bimp he loved Funk and wanted to marry her. Bimp laughed at him, doubting he could afford to marry her. Adewale asked Bimp what he needed to do to marry Funk. She angrily gave him a list of expensive items, thinking he could never afford them. Adewale promised to return in a week with everything. Adewale returned to the driver's house and asked him to take him back to Lagos. The driver was surprised but did as he was told. When they arrived in Lagos, Adewale asked to be taken to a large company. The driver was hesitant, knowing the company was highly exclusive, but Adewale insisted. When they arrived, the guards immediately recognized Adewale and treated him with great respect, paying the driver handsomely for his services. Adewale thanked the driver and promised to keep in touch. He went inside to see his father and told him he had found the woman he wanted to marry. Just then, his mother entered with a beautiful lady she had chosen for him. Seeing Adewale looking like a beggar, his mother was disappointed. The lady she brought stormed out in anger. Adewale's father, however, was pleased and gave his blessing for Adewale to marry Funk. He allowed Adewale to return to Ijibu with everything needed to marry her. Adewale returned to the village with a convoy of luxury cars and a bullion van filled with the items on Bim's list. The driver and his family were astonished. Adewale gave the driver a new bus and a lot of money to thank him. Then he went to Bim's house. Bim and Amina were shocked to see Adewale looking handsome and wealthy. The convoy parked in front of their house, and men started unloading the goods. Funk was amazed and confused, feeling hurt that Adewale had hidden his true identity. Adewale chased after her, explaining his reasons and asking for forgiveness. Funk understood and they hugged. Amina tried to be friendly with Adewale, but he ignored her. He and Funk left for Lagos, where Adewale took her to the best salon and boutique. After her makeover, Funk looked more beautiful than Amina and the lady his mother had chosen. Adewale introduced Funk to his family. His father welcomed her warmly, and his mother, respecting Adewale's choice, also welcomed her into the family. In a month's time, they had the grandest wedding of the year. The celebration was the talk of the town for weeks. Adewale and Funk lived happily ever after, proving that true love and kindness always win in the end. Adewale and Funk settled into their new life together in Lagos. Their wedding had been the talk of the town, and they were surrounded by love and support from their families and friends. Adewale showered Funk with love and care, making sure she never felt out of place in their luxurious home. As months passed, Funk adapted well to her new life. She became involved in charity work, helping women and children in need, something she had always dreamed of doing. Adewale supported her every step of the way, proud of the kind-hearted woman he had chosen as his wife. However, back in Ijibu, trouble brewed. Bim and Amina were furious at how everything had turned out. They felt humiliated and plotted to get revenge on Adewale and Funk. Bim spread rumors in the village, trying to tarnish Funk's reputation and make Adewale regret marrying her. One day, a wealthy businessman from a neighboring town visited Ijibu. He heard about Adewale and Funk's story and became interested in Funk. Bim seized the opportunity and invited him to their home, convincing him that Funk was still available for marriage. The businessman, named Chief Ogondil, was impressed by Funk's beauty and grace. He proposed to her, offering a large dowry to Bim and Amina. They eagerly accepted, seeing it as a chance to get revenge on Adewale and prove that Funk was not meant for a wealthy man like him. Meanwhile, Adewale and Funk were enjoying a quiet evening at home when they received an unexpected visitor. It was Chief Ogondil, accompanied by Bim and Amina. Adewale was taken aback, but Funk remained composed. Chief Ogondil made his intentions clear, proposing to Funk in front of Adewale. Funk was shocked and glanced at Adewale, unsure of what to do. Adewale, filled with anger and disbelief, stood up and faced Chief Ogondil. "I'm sorry, Chief Ogondil, but Funk is already my wife," Adewale said firmly. "She is not available for marriage." Bim and Amina scoffed at Adewale's statement, insisting that Funk was theirs to give away. They mocked Adewale for pretending to be someone he wasn't and accused him of deceiving Funk. Funk, torn between loyalty to Adewale and the pressure from her stepmother and stepsister, remained silent. Adewale took her hand gently and looked into her eyes. "Funk, do you want to marry Chief Ogondil?" Adewale asked softly. Funk hesitated, feeling torn between her love for Adewale and her desire to avoid conflict with her stepfamily. She looked down, unsure of what to say. Seeing Funk's hesitation, Chief Ogondil grew impatient. "Make up your mind, young lady. I don't have all day." Adewale tightened his grip on Funka's hand, silently urging her to choose. Funk took a deep breath and spoke softly, but firmly. I'm sorry, Chief Ogondil. "I cannot marry you," Funk said, her voice trembling slightly. "I am already married to Adewale, and I love him." Chief Ogondil was stunned, not expecting Funka to refuse him. Bimp and Amina were furious and started shouting insults at Funk and Adewale. They accused Adewale of tricking Funka into marrying him and vowed to make them pay for their defiance. Adewale remained calm despite the chaos. He looked at Funka with pride and admiration, grateful for her courage to stand by him. He turned to Chief Ogondil and spoke with authority. "Chief Ogondil, thank you for your proposal, but Funka and I happily married. I kindly ask you to leave our home now," Adewale said firmly. Chief Ogondil hesitated, unsure of what to do next. Bimp and Amina continued to argue, demanding that Funka go with Chief Ogondil. Funka felt torn, but Adewale stood protectively by her side, refusing to let anyone tear them apart. Finally, Chief Ogondil reluctantly nodded and turned to leave, followed by Bimp and Amina. They left the house in a fury, vowing to make Adewale and Funk regret their decision. As they walked away, Adewale closed the door behind them and turned to Funka. She looked at him with tears in her eyes, overwhelmed by the events that had unfolded. "I'm sorry, Adewale," Funka said softly. "I didn't expect." Adewale gently wiped away her tears and smiled reassuringly. "It's okay, Funk. We'll face whatever comes together. I love you, and that's all that matters." Funke nodded, feeling relieved to have Adewale's unwavering support. They embraced each other, grateful for the love and strength that bound them together. Little did they know, Bimp and Amina were already planning their next move. They were determined to separate Adewale and Funka, no matter the cost. The next day, rumors spread like wildfire through the village of Ajibu. Bimp and Amina painted Adewale and Funka in a negative light, portraying them as deceitful and unworthy of trust. They rallied support from some villagers who were envious of Adewale's success and jealous of Funka's beauty and grace. Adewale and Funk heard snippets of these rumors but chose to focus on their life together in Lagos. Adewale continued to run his business empire, while Funk devoted her time to charity work and supporting Adewale in every way she could. However, the tension in Ajibu continued to escalate. Bimp and Amina's relentless gossip started affecting the village's perception of Adewale and Funka. Some people started avoiding them, while others openly criticized them whenever they visited the market or attended community gatherings. One afternoon, as Adewale was overseeing a new project in Lagos, he received a troubling phone call from the driver who had helped him in Ajibu. The driver informed Adewale about the worsening situation in the village and warned him to be cautious if he ever planned to visit again. Adewale was concerned but decided to focus on his work and protect Funka from the negativity. He assured the driver that he appreciated the warning and would consider his advice. Meanwhile, in Ajibu, Bimp and Amina were not satisfied with spreading rumors. They devised a sinister plan to discredit Adewale and Funka publicly. They approached Chief Adesanya, a respected elder in the village known for his fairness and wisdom. Bimp and Amina manipulated Chief Adesanya into believing their version of events. They painted Adewale as a fraud who had deceived Funka into marriage and suggested that Funka was not as innocent as she appeared. Chief Adesanya, swayed by their convincing arguments and unaware of the truth, agreed to summon Adewale and Funka to a village meeting to address the accusations against them. Back in Lagos, Adewale received a formal invitation from Chief Adesanya to attend the village meeting in Ijebu. The letter was courteous but hinted at serious allegations that needed clarification. Adewale knew this was Bimp and Amina's doing, yet he understood the importance of addressing the situation directly. Adewale discussed the invitation with Funk that evening. She was hesitant, fearing further humiliation and misunderstanding. Adewale held her hands gently and reassured her that they would face this challenge together, as they had faced everything else. The following week, Adewale and Funk traveled to Ijebu for the village meeting. They were met with hostile glances and whispered remarks as they entered the meeting hall.